Like, nobody knows where your kids are. Something happened with them. Now's the time.
There was blankets, and they were like half stuck to the floor from rotten flesh and so forth. There's something really wrong here.
What do you describe that smell as?
It was death.
I never trusted him, and I didn't know what he was capable of.
A welfare check quickly transforms into one of the most horrifying investigations in recent Florida history, leaving detectives to unravel months of deception and a series of crimes that seem to transcend the very definition of evil. In mid-September 2019, the Marion County Sheriff's Office in Florida receives a call from a concerned mother requesting a welfare check on her 32-year-old daughter, Casey Jones.
I don't know where she could be. I just don't. And it's really weird because I haven't talked to her. I only saw Mike when I had the kids.
Mike is 38-year-old Michael Wayne Jones, Casey's husband and the father of their two daughters, 2-year-old Mercalli and 1-year-old Ayana.
How long ago was that when you talked to her last?
When I talked to her?
Yeah.
It's been like a month and a half or more. And it's just weird. She would never do that. And she would never leave her kids for 2 weeks.
Casey messaged her mother a month and a half prior, asking if she could watch the two girls for a couple of days. However, after a few follow-up texts claiming she was sick, the visit stretched into 2 weeks, with the girls staying until mid-August.
I got text message from her, like, saying, how's the kids? But it didn't sound like her, like, you know, like when somebody's talking to you and you know that person, even their text seems off. That's the way the text was. So I was thinking it was Mike.
Okay. And from what I understand, Mike dropped the kids off, which is abnormal because she wasn't with him.
Right. And she didn't come and pick him up either.
Okay, so she didn't show up the 2 weeks after that to come pick him up. Okay. Mike came alone?
Right.
During this time, Casey's two sons from a previous marriage, 9-year-old Cameron and 4-year-old Preston, were staying with their biological father. They also returned home in mid-August, but when Cameron's birthday came and passed on September 12th, it was unusual that Casey hadn't shared her customary Facebook post.
And that was really weird because she always posts her birthday.
Now, does Michael have a Facebook name?
I think it's just Michael Jones.
Okay. And have you talked to him at all?
No, nope. He took his messages off Facebook because everybody's trying to message him to see where Casey's at.
But the mystery doesn't end with Casey. No one has seen or heard from her 4 children in the last few weeks.
I'm just worried about, I don't know where they're at, you know.
There is going to be a missing persons bolo put out, okay? We're going to put her car out, we're going to put her out, and we're going to put the kids out there too. I don't want to scare you, I don't want to do any of that stuff, but what we're working with right now is there are some suspicious circumstances, so we're going to try to get ahead of that and figure everything out, okay?
I don't care if she's mad at me for the rest of my life. I just want to make sure her and those 4 kids are okay.
A deputy heads to Casey and Michael's home in Summerfield, Florida, only to find that the residence has been completely cleared out. However, he takes note of a dark red stain in the west bedroom, a substance that appears to be blood. The deputy then learns that an eviction process has been initiated in late August, but after speaking with 2 men who cleaned the residence, investigators begin to suspect that a dark secret may be lurking within the walls.
I went in, and it was god-awful. I called Mr. and told him there's something really wrong here.
What are you saying because of,
The smell.
Okay. What do you describe that smell as?
It was death.
But the front bedroom was the worst. We even joked about it being, it smells like a dead body, but I don't know what a dead body smells like.
When you went into that front bedroom, in the corner, there was blankets, and they were like half stuck to the floor from rotten flesh and so forth.
The disturbing remarks only further suspicion, but the case would take another unexpected turn after Michael's ex-wife Sarah claimed to have seen the family at a McDonald's on Friday, September 13th, just 1 day before they were reported missing. However, in a voicemail left for investigators, her story suddenly changes.
I was thinking more about it, and I actually don't recall seeing Casey on Friday, so I only can confirm that I saw Michael. And for what it's worth, a lot of drama comes along with her, so I would be very surprised if this were not just some sort of stunt.
Investigators checked the McDonald's surveillance footage in hopes of verifying this claim, only to learn that the family was never at the restaurant. Detectives then confront Sarah with what appears to be a bold-faced lie.
What's going on?
Nothing really, at least on our end. So Michael's been here. This is my understanding of what has happened. I don't know facts about anything other than what I've been told from Michael. He told me he and I have split up. I can't take it anymore. You know, she's making me crazy. This isn't working. And kind of vented to me about the way things had been between them for a long time.
Michael texted Sarah on July 11, 2019, a message that would reconnect the somewhat estranged pair. As time went on, several of his messages would convey a rather flirtatious tone, with one reading, "Hey beautiful, just seeing how you're doing." In another he writes, "Miss you guys, all four of you." Sarah, however, appeared intent on keeping the conversation strictly platonic, replying with, "Miss you too, friend."
I, previous to us moving here, hadn't really talked to him much. We did not have a great situation with our split up. He was a cause of a lot of that.
What were kind of things he was saying?
That she's very jealous. He wasn't allowed. I mean, again, the reason he wasn't really allowed to speak to me for that amount of time was because she was jealous. That she's manipulative and a liar, and that her mother is crazy.
After Michael reconnected with Sarah, he would go on to help watch their 3 shared children while she was at work. During this time, Cameron, Preston, Mercalli, and Diana were all on extended visits with family members.
He told me on Tuesday that he had found out from his landlord that trailer's basically condemned, like not set up correctly, nobody should be living there. So he got all his stuff out, put what he could in a storage shed, and then came here.
Michael has been staying at Sarah's for the last 2 weeks, beginning around late August. But at this point, the whereabouts of Casey and her 4 children remains a complete mystery. The detective then goes on to confront Sarah about her inconsistent claims of seeing the Jones family on September 13th, an account she now admits was entirely fabricated.
Why?
I think I panicked. So I saw the message at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Huh?
I was asleep when it came in.
Okay.
And I went to him, I mean, based on our history.
You went to your...
I went to him. He was
Michael.
sleeping in the boys' room. Yes.
So you went to Michael.
And I said, why is the Marion County Sheriff's Department trying to contact me? Like, what is the deal? And he didn't seem to have any clue. He didn't understand what was going on. I had also had a message from his mom last night about, have you talked to Michael? And I'm like, oh, wait, anybody's asking me. Like, nobody knew he was staying here, but I'm like, nobody should think to ask me. Like, I don't... Anyway.
But the detective is still unconvinced of her story, and Sarah finally comes clean.
You said you panicked, but you had to have a reason to make up that story. What I don't understand why you made that up.
I think in my head I didn't want to get in trouble for him being here.
It seems like almost like a ploy to not us to look for her. You see what I'm saying? Like to me, that's what makes sense, and that's what makes sense to Detective Bartlett. So I'm just curious, like, how does that come up?
Other than Michael saying, like, just say you saw me Friday.
Does he tell you to say that?
He did, yes.
When I ask you why don't you just say it, it's because he told me to say it.
Yeah. So
it seems like you're still not being fully forthcoming with me right now.
I really am trying. I really am. He wrote down a couple notes that he took with him, just like, say you saw me Friday.
And then what does he say?
He just said something about, we met at the McDonald's on Friday in Palatka. And so when I came back from that, I said, you need to get in touch with them. Like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to think you did something to your wife, because we all listen to true crime podcasts.
And he's definitely not here.
He's definitely not here, no.
Michael told Sarah he was heading to the police department to clear things up, and he left a voicemail for one of the detectives.
Yes, hi, this is Michael Jones. I've been heard through the grapevine, actually, that I'm trying to contact my wife and I. I am not in town right now. I could be there late this evening, or probably more likely early in the morning. Come to your office and speak with you. You can give me a detailed message whereabouts that is, and as far as what office. You could probably be there as early as 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you.
But this meeting would occur much sooner than anticipated, and under the most gruesome of circumstances. On the evening of September 15th, just 1 day after Casey and the kids were reported missing, Michael crashed his car across state lines in Brantley County, Georgia. He alerted the local authorities, where the responding officers instantly took note of a putrid smell emanating from the van. Michael, in response, offered the twisted reason as to why, stating, You may want to go ahead and put me in handcuffs because my wife is dead and she is in the vehicle. Tragically, investigators would quickly locate the mother's lifeless body exactly where Michael said she would be. This chilling confession lands him in an interrogation room with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, where he begins revealing the brutal details surrounding Casey's death. But as disturbing as his account already is, one haunting fact remains. Her 4 children are still missing.
So I've been married to Casey for 2 years now. Been with her about going on 5. And it's been up and down the last couple of years, been up and down just as far as trials and
Marital problems.
Yeah. Just straight up, just nagging and poking and prodding of me verbally. She wanted to see my cell phone. But it's not in the cell phone, but, do what you want. She's, at this point, in my face, trying to go to sleep. I got up from the bed, went to the chair. She went over and put the phone in my face, just saying things to me that weren't true.
What was she accusing you of?
Anywhere from me being unfaithful to me being, planning stuff as far as my ex-wife coming down here, and she shoves me, and then I push her on the bed. I just kept telling her, leave, you just need to leave. We have, a recliner in the trailer, and she, grabbed behind it, had a bat, and I grabbed it from her and pushed her, and she punched and hit me as I started swinging with the bat.
That's what killed her?
Yes, sir.
Following his act of rage, Michael says he wrapped Casey in plastic, placed her in a plastic bin, and kept her body inside of their bedroom.
Where did you kill her at?
In the trailer.
Did you clean up everything? Is it still there?
I tried to clean up, the walls that splatter and stuff on it.
Casey's murder took place on July 10, 2019, while the 4 children were sleeping inside the home. According to Michael, he told the kids that he and Casey were, quote, taking a break whenever they would ask about their mother. And just one day after the murder, Michael sent a text to his ex-wife, Sarah.
In my experience in the last 4.5 years with her and her mother, this is probably blown way out of proportion. Mm-hmm. I don't believe anything has happened to her. I think she's sitting in a hotel with her 4 kids somewhere, probably laughing at everybody.
The whole time this is going on, are people asking where she is? Or?
Not at first. It wasn't for a few weeks here and there that her mother would ask, where she was or whatever. And then I would drop the girls off, like I said, with her into land every once in a while. But yeah, people would ask every once in a while, and I had her phone, so I would say, hey, I would talk as her, basically.
Michael says he eventually put Casey's body in their van, driving around with her, quote, on and off. Sarah would come to this sickening realization after learning what she believed was impossible.
So I assume he was driving around my boys in his van with, a dead body. When I found out on Monday that they'd found Casey's body, I had to leave work, and my deepest prayer was that he hadn't hurt those kids.
Sadly, Casey's murder was only the beginning of a series of unthinkable violence, as less than a month later, Michael's attention turned to her 4 innocent children.
Right, nobody knows where your kids are. Something happened with them. Now's the time. You've been carrying this for a while, but we got to know I need to know where his kids are. Something happened with them. You got to let me know, man.
They're all gone.
All 4 of them?
One day I just realized, school is starting. The boys are school age, and I started just to choke them out.
The interrogation is temporarily paused, but Michael would be in the same chair just hours later, detailing the horrific murders of those he was supposed to protect.
I strangled Cameron in his room. I was on top of him.
In the bed?
Yeah. And then,
did he say anything? pulled him to the ground and just kept holding on until he stopped moving.
Did he scratch you? Did he injure you? Was he kicking around or anything?
Just kicking, yeah.
Okay. How long did it take?
Seemed like forever.
Was he on his back or was he facing you?
No, face down.
Face down?
Face down.
Did you use your hands or did you use your like with
hands mainly?
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think at one point he was on his back and I put my knee into his chest.
Did Preston hear what was going on with Cameron when it was going on? Did he wake up?
No.
Preston was sleeping just feet away during his older brother's murder. Michael placed Cameron's body inside of a suitcase, leaving it in the trailer. The next morning, Preston woke up asking where his brother had gone. Tragically, it would only take one day for the siblings to be reunited.
Preston was the second one. I put a zip tie thing around his neck, and I put him in the tub.
And then how soon after that did you decide you were going to go ahead and put the zip tie on Preston?
I grabbed him from the bed the next night.
He was asleep when you went in.
Yeah. The way it happened with Cameron, I figured that, my hands were hurting, and I clicked in my head that I had zip ties somewhere. Took him off the bed and took that around I put it around his neck, and then brought him in the bathroom.
Michael held Preston underwater, killing the 4-year-old. Investigators would later speak to Cameron and Preston's father, telling him the heartbreaking news.
He didn't even get his birthday. Did they make it to school? Oh my God.
The brothers are believed to have been murdered in mid-August. Preston's birthday was August 22nd. He was just a few short days away from turning 5 years old. According to Michael, Preston's body was left in a trash bag inside the bathroom for several days before he placed the boys in separate plastic bins, with Cameron still enclosed inside the suitcase.
Hey, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Our fun is so ride on one open sleigh.
Yay! I gotta ask, what were you trying to accomplish, do you think? Just trying to...
In a text sent just 1 month prior to Cameron and Preston's deaths, Michael reveals his hostile feelings toward the boys, writing to Sarah, "I will be honest, I hate these 2 boys. I hope she takes them soon." However, Michael never expressed these thoughts to their father, who tells investigators that his most recent interaction with the suspect was unusually cordial.
I never trusted him, and I didn't know what he was capable of. So when I had picked them up first from the mall to bring them back to Georgia to spend my 2 weeks with them, Michael got out of the van, and it was really shocking, sir, because Michael had this huge apology. He's like, "I just want to apologize, for believing everything that Casey's said about you, about how, you apparently abused her every day and you hit the kids and you did this and that, when clearly I know that wasn't true, and I know the kind of woman that she is." The part that was weird, sir, is he was really cool with me, like he was my homeboy or something, like we were best friends. He was like, "But I want you to see your children more. I want you to do this and that." And so I'm thinking, man, this is great. I'm thinking something, at least he's normal or halfway is normal, and we even hugged. He shook my hand. It's almost like that was his apology for everything that he had done. And here I was, I took it hook, line, and sinker, because I'm a forgiving guy.
Michael admits that he wanted to turn himself in for all 3 murders, even sitting outside a police department with Mercalli and Ayanna in the car. Instead, he drove away, a decision that would seal the fate of his 2 youngest children, starting with 2-year-old Mercalli.
I had the tub filled, and I put my hands around her throat, put her in the tub face down. And the same thing with the baby.
Same day?
Yeah.
Immediately after?
Yeah.
So at the point you decided to do this, were you angry?
I just was at a point of no return, I guess.
Look at me. Who's that? Who's that pretty thing? Is that you?
The murders occurred shortly before Labor Day weekend at the end of August 2019. After killing Mercalli and Diana, Michael placed the girls together in a plastic bin and put them in the van alongside Cameron and Preston. However, the children were not inside of the car when Casey's body was discovered. But detectives still have one final question for Michael.
Was it all about just at that point just trying to see if you could get away with it? Is that trying to stay out of jail, or was it? Do you think there was some sort of emotional aspect to being so mad at her for treating you the way she did over those last few months? You know, I mean, walk me through that a little if you can.
I don't know. It's a little bit of both of what you just said.
Right.
There was an aspect of them being part of their mother, and I didn't know what to do as far as I just could not open my mouth. I couldn't make that step to say, somebody help me.
After crossing into Georgia on September 15th, Michael says he disposed of the children in a wooded area shortly before the crash. He would lead investigators back to the scene, where all 4 bodies were recovered. When asked why he didn't dispose of Casey's body, Michael offers no explanation, telling detectives that he doesn't know.
You know, I didn't want her to marry Mike. I knew something was wrong, but I just couldn't pinpoint why I didn't like him.
Michael was charged with 4 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of murder in the second degree. According to court transcripts, Michael's defense argued that he suffered from delusions and delirium, citing statements he made to mental health clinicians in which he said he heard Casey's voice after her death, urging him to reunite the children with their mother. According to Michael, Casey's voice also told him the family would be resurrected together. On this basis, the defense asked the jury to spare his life and instead sentence him to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but the argument failed to persuade them. Michael was found guilty on all charges and received a life sentence for the second-degree murder of Casey. For the murders of the 4 children, he was sentenced to death. In 2023, Michael appealed his first-degree murder convictions and death sentences. However, the ruling was affirmed in 2025. He is currently being held on death row. Watch our full videos as they were originally made, with no randomly muted words or details cut. We've also dropped brand new EWU videos available only on EWU Plus. Available now on iOS, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google TV. Download EWU Plus and see what you've been missing.